Hello everyone and welcome back to Canada and Beyond. My name is Jihan, and if you're new to this channel, we would like you to hit that subscribe button. In this channel, we talk a lot about the life in Canada, how you can come and visit Canada or choose Canada to be your second home. We also talk a lot about Canadian immigration program. We show you how life is in Canada through our vlogs and some of our discussions as well. If you are interested in this, please hit that subscribe button and follow us along the way. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about how Muslims are living in Canada. Recently, we just moved to Ottawa and things have been completely different than what used to be in St. John, New Brunswick, and I'll go through that in a minute. But before starting, I want to mention that I made a video about Muslims in Canada and how they are treated, and I've got tons of comments from all of you there who are worried to come in Canada and be mistreated, or that fear of coming to a place where it's different in many ways. And I totally get that. I want to tell you there's nothing to worry about, and I have a few points that I want to cover in this video. But by the end of the video, if you still have questions, please make sure to comment down below, and I'll try to make another video talking about those points in a specific way. So yeah, let's get started. I want to start this video actually by discussing one of the comments that I had from one of our subscribers. She said, "I have worked with Muslim women and they said that people always think they are refugee or non-Canadian, always seen as an outsider. I don't think people generally think that, but I can't affirm that as I'm not in Muslim women's shoes." So this is actually a very legit point, and I've seen that many times, because Canada kindly in the past have brought a lot of Syrian refugees because of the war and all that. So especially in Ottawa, there is a big Lebanese and Syrian communities here, but that doesn't mean actually every hijabi or every person who's wearing hijab is a refugee, and there's nothing wrong with being refugee. God knows what they have gone through to leave their home countries and come and live here. And honestly, it's not fair to treat them in a way that it's like, I don't know what to say, like not proper, because even though they are refugee, we don't know what they've gone through, and it's good that they are here in Canada and they are having it as their home. Hopefully they're living a comfortable life, so we don't want to put more oil into the fire. Like, okay, so what if you are Muslim and wearing hijab and you are a refugee? That doesn't mean that you are a bad citizen. That doesn't mean that you are not contributing to the economy of this country in any way or another. That also doesn't mean that you don't speak English. A lot of Syrian have been here for almost 10 or 15 years. A lot of kids were actually born in Canada, and I'm 100% sure that they speak English, probably even French, so we don't know that. But this is actually, I've had some encounters in my own experience where people think that because I'm wearing hijab and because I'm here, I'm actually probably a refugee who doesn't know how to speak English, and that's really harsh. I felt the same thing in US as well. I remember I was talking with my friend talking our Tunisian language, and there's this little girl, she's like saying all kind of stuff about us, like these people who probably doesn't know English, what are they doing here, blah blah blah, and all that talk, which I don't want to really get into. And I was laughing at the same time, but also feeling sad, because she is that young and thinking already of racism and thinking of all these, stereotype things, when probably she learned all of those from her parents or God knows where. But this is sad story, right? So we shouldn't be making that judgment right there. Of course, I am very proud of being Muslims, of, you know, wearing hijab and everything, but at the same time, that's not just who I am. I'm also a wife. I'm also a software engineer. I speak English and French and Arabic, and when I am out there, I don't want people to look at me that, oh, she's wearing hijab, so she probably doesn't know English or whatever. But honestly, I need to make a point where there's two types of people here in Canada from what I have experienced so far. There's the general public who are like people like you and I, you know, they just get their information about Islam from news or from their own experience or whatever. And then there's the other type of the people who work in the government, you know, like when you go, I don't know, like to apply for your passport, to apply for visa, go to Service Canada, go to any sort of bureaucratic governmental bureaus here in Canada. Those people actually gone through a major studies and understanding of our religion, that they know how to treat us. They know that, you know, I'm not shaking your hand. It doesn't mean that I'm not respecting you, but this is my religion. I'm not shaking your hand. I'm wearing hijab. This is my religion. And they respect that. So a little side story, actually, Osman and I just went today to see to have a tour of the House of Commons, and we just went there. We got our ticket and we're going through the security checkpoint, and it's exactly like how you would have it in airports, where you have to remove all your jewelries and stuff, put them in a box, and then like go through the scanner. But everybody in front of me, they did that, they passed, and everything is good. But of course, I'm the girl who's wearing hijab, has to make a scene, right? So I enter, and then it just start beeping, and then this male officer, he came to me and politely asked, is it okay if I run the manual scan over you again, just to make sure what's going on? I said, yeah, absolutely, do it. This is your job, and you gotta make sure everything is going through is perfectly fine, right? So he did the scan, and again kept on beeping. So he asked one of his female colleague to come and, like, you know, touch and see if there's something going on, and she as well asked kindly, can I please touch you just to make sure what's going on? So you see what I'm going through here. So because they know how to treat and how to talk and how to speak, he didn't, like, you know, misjudge me that, oh, you're Muslim wearing hijab, probably there's some weird things going on, I don't know what you're wearing, like what you're having inside that making the scanner beep. And he also did not touch me, right? He asked for a female to come, and she also asked if she can touch me. So this is where I like show you that, you know, people who work in the government, they are actually very knowledgeable of how is our religion and culture is. But people who you might see in grocery stores, or who go to school with your kids and that, they might not know all of this. They might not even know how to treat you, how to talk to you. They might think that, oh, she's Muslim, these are Muslim family, probably we don't want to even like get involved with them or talk with them. And it's another point to prove to you guys that when you are dealing with governmental bureaus or people who have knowledge about Islam, they really know what's going on, you know. The other point I want to talk about is going to job and wearing hijab. Obviously, you know, I've did few jobs where I had to go like in office and work in the office, and I was wearing hijab and I was treated the best way. I'm very thankful to the people I was working with. Now I'm working from home, so it's a new level. But I remember when I was going to work, you know, people obviously at that time, they didn't know why I'm wearing this. Why during the month of Ramadan I don't talk, I barely speak and all that. So it was again my job to explain to them all of this. It was you know, up to me to explain why I don't handshake, why I don't sit too close with male, why, you know, like I'm wearing hijab, why I take a break and go to that room to do my prayer. And it's up to us, like as Muslims, to, you know, if you go to the HR and tell them that, hey, I have these prayers that I need to do during the day and I'd like a room to pray in it, they're not going to say no to you. It's actually by law to respect the religious of every person working in whatever company. I remember during Ramadan, I made up, I talked to them in a different, like if I could work in different hours, like start early, finish, you know, start at 5 a.m. and finish early. But this is more, a situational area where like your job might not be that flexible to do so. Like if you have to come at 8 a.m. and finish at 4 to attend meetings and work with other people, then they might not accommodate you that way. But I'm pretty sure they will accommodate you in a way where you are still able to do your prayer and do everything. You just have to ask, you know, and by law, every company needs to give you a 15-minute break in the morning and then in the afternoon, despite your lunch break. So you could utilize those 15 minutes to go make wudu and pray. You just have to tell them, you know. But the other point a lot of you ask me about is like, can you do a public job wearing hijab? So absolutely yes. Like here and even in St. John or here in Ottawa, there's a lot, like everywhere I go, there's, you know, Muslims, cashier, like wearing hijab. Usman and I went to change our driver license and in Service Ontario. Actually, the girl who helped us was wearing hijab. We went to Service Canada, Service Canada to change our SIN number. There's at least 3-4 officers wearing hijab. And anywhere, like honestly, anywhere I go, there's hijab. To me, I'm in a point where like seeing these, it's not a big deal because Canada has at least 5 to 6% of Muslims community who are like, like doctors and pharmacists and engineers and you know, all kind of jobs they're doing. So we're not in a point where like, oh no, you're wearing hijab, I'm not gonna accept you to work or not. You know, every single person is contributing to the economy in a different way. So if you are working as a cashier, working as an engineer, it's the same thing, you know, you wearing hijab or not. Like I have seen a lot of people doing these jobs wearing hijab. I am not sure of the way they have been treated, but to me, since you got accepted and doing the job and you're doing a good job at and you are doing your job properly, then there is no, like there isn't a thing for the owner or of your employer to, you know, misjudge you or anything. But again, you can't really control what people gonna think of you, and this is not just in an Islamic way, it's all over. Like you could be practicing any other religion and still you can't own everybody's respect. You can't make people, you know, understand you, believe in you and respect you. It's your attitude, it's the way you do things in public that shows that we are normal people. I mean, we're Muslims, we wear hijab, we go to the mosque, but we're still at the end of the day normal people. The other question was about no handshaking. I simply tell people, like people who knows me and they know that I don't handshake, but if I'm meeting with someone new and they go and handshake, I say, no, I'm sorry, I don't handshake. Or some people actually would ask, or they would ask like, oh, can I handshake you? Or I say no, then end of story. It's again, it's up to you. If you don't want to handshake, that's like, Canada's a free country. They can't just force you to handshake. But if you like unpolitely decline, then that's the issue, right? It's you have the responsibility to explain why I don't handshake and this is why, and you just explain to them why, and people would respect you because you're, at the end of the day, you're following your own religion, right? The other point I want to make is that in just Ottawa city there is at least 10 different big mosques that when we go to Jummah prayer, like there isn't actually enough parking to park. Like we have to park at a different plaza and walk towards the masjid. This is how big it is. So and these masjid offer like Islamic schools after like afternoon classes and all that. You still have to go to your like the regular school, so kids are not just gonna like give up on actual schools and go to Islamic school. And then, since we're talking about schools, some of you also asked like, can we send kids wearing hijab to school? It's not illegal. You can send your kids wearing hijab to school. That's part of like freedom of the way you dress up and the way you wear. But I'm not gonna say that your kids are not gonna be bullied if they're wearing hijab. Hijab is gonna make them more distinguished from the other kids around them, and like differences can cause problems. And at that time your kids probably don't know what does bully means, or are they even being bullied or not, and they don't know how to defend themselves. So if you're gonna go and take such a step, you really need to make sure to protect your kids and know what's going on in their daily school life. Are they being treated differently? Because the teacher is not gonna send them back because they're wearing hijab or ask them to remove it in class. That's not how it goes. It's their right to wear hijab, but the teacher might not stop every single kids from treating them badly because they are different than them. So I hope you understand my point. Feel free to comment and I'll try to respond as much as I can. The other point is I've seen some comments where about people saying like, I have to remove my hijab during passport picture, visa picture, or PR picture. I never heard of that. Even actually when I was in US, my US visa and my US work permit were all like wearing hijab. They don't ask you about that. Things really have changed in the past 5-10 years that they don't make you remove it. It just doesn't work that way. What they ask me is like, try to put it a little bit down just to see the edges of your forehead. And that's actually for, security purpose, so that people don't, modify or do stuff. But yeah, like even my Ontario health card, I'm wearing hijab. I'm always mad in pictures, so I'm mad at myself, not at the person who's taking the picture or anything. But yeah, like you can wear hijab anywhere, and like my Canadian visa also has my picture in hijab. They never even asked me to remove it. And actually when you go to the visa website, where they ask you to upload a picture, they even have a sample picture of a girl wearing hijab to show like how you would align the hijab so the picture can be accepted. So I don't want you guys to worry about preparing your document for visa purpose or passport and think that you gotta have to remove your hijab. None of that is true. And my last point is that here in Ottawa, because it's bigger and there's more Muslims community, there's even gym that are only specifically for women. So only woman gym area. That's a big deal. Like, I know I'm very self-conscious. I don't like working out when it's crowded or people staring at me or anything, but this is a big relief. Going, for example, Good Life Fitness, they have a woman only gym, so like you can go into the locker room, like change room, and from there you just go to a separate room where it's only women. They don't even have camera or anything, so you're very like you can either remove your hijab or wear like comfortable clothes to work out in. There's also a lot of swim places where they have a specific time of the day for women only swim pool. Even like the workers at that time, they would all be women. They don't allow kids to come along more than 6 years old, so it's really perfect and beautiful. Like you don't feel like you are trapped because you're wearing hijab. You can do certain activities that other people find it very easy to do. It's very nice, and I just love that people like this, like Good Life Fitness, Carleton University, are actually thinking of this part of the community where they know we are not able to do these sort of activities because there's probably men around. So I just love that they actually think of this and had like a specific, you know, time of the day to swim pool, but for the Good Life Fitness is like a 24 hours gym, woman only area. So this being said, again, back to the point where like the city itself and the country itself is aware that we have these cultural and religious aspect that we are like we need to follow. So as a Canadian, or as like someone who's living in Canada and Muslims, it's your right to live the way you want, obviously by respecting the rules of the country. And they know we all are contributing to the economy in many different ways. So it's not like they can't just, you know, eliminate a big chunk of the community just because they are Muslims, or just because they're wearing hijab, then oh, they can't have this certain type of jobs, or they can't do this type of jobs. I mean, even in like MP officers, there's a lot of Muslims. There is a mayor Muslim wearing hijab, a deputy mayor wearing hijab in Toronto. Councillor members are also, they wear hijab, and these are like the big jobs that represent the country, and they allow them to wear hijab. And it just, this is how it is. Hijab comes under the law of, you know, wearing the freedom of wearing whatever you want. Just like it's normal for a person to wear like just two-piece and walk around, it's also normal for you to wear a hijab and walk around. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this video brought some peace to you. If you still have more questions, please make sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any points you want me to discuss deeper. And yeah, I really hope this video, you find it helpful in some way. Thank you.